Welcome to Hot Property. I'm your host, Kaushal Patel. This historical landmark known as the Bowman-Cotton home was built by one of the best architects in San Diego back in the 20s, and it was also one of the first waterfront homes on the peninsula. Paint a picture of what this area, what this street, Nichols Street, was like back in the 20s.
A lot of open land, the prominent citizens of San Diego starting to leave Bankers Hill and Missions Hills and coming over here due to the automobile and being able to easily work in downtown but live in this part of San Diego. And so you have civic leaders, judges. Bowman was a civil engineer and a property owner, establishing their homes here. And this home was double fronted. Here he is on this amazing piece of property, waterfront, and it's double fronted. He also has a prominent frontage to the street as well as to the bay.
What have you loved about living in this home for the last decade?
One of the things is I work from home, and just having the view that's constantly changing, being able to see the boats downtown, still have the privacy that this home affords, but it's just spectacular.
This home in Richard Requa's oeuvre of work was done right after he'd come back from 2 trips to Europe. And he had just written his masterpiece book, establishing his concept of the Southern California architecture and how we should have a style of our own in Southern California that reflected Mediterranean architecture.
You've worked on dozens of historic homes in San Diego. When you heard that you were going to get to work on a Richard Requa home, what was going through your mind?
I was so honored. Richard Requa did such amazing work in San Diego. A long history of up and down the coast, getting amazing commissions from some of the most prominent people in the history of San Diego's development.
It was a big project when we started 10 years ago. And we wanted to remain as true as possible to the historical integrity of the home. And then when it came to the interiors, obviously being a family with 2 kids and dogs, we wanted a very modern, livable house. And so we made the spaces inside very contemporary and modern.
This is an invisible screen, and the homeowner found a maker who could repair these throughout the house.
Fantastic.
And that was an original Richard Requa detail.
Love it.
Isn't that spectacular?
And you don't even see something like that in 2019.
Right, there it is, gone. Fabulous.
Let's talk about the kitchen. I mean, with all these modern finishes, you walk into a historical landmark, you don't expect to see a kitchen like this.
No, so original 1920s kitchen. This was for the servant, right? Or the homemaker did everything here and then came through with the food. Right? You didn't ever let company into your kitchen. But you and I, we don't want to be locked away in our kitchen. We also want to enjoy the view, right? So we opened this up so that we have a nice 5-foot wide opening here. If we want to hide away, we can, right? We've got these pocket doors, so we can close it off if we want to. Modern island countertops, a very minimal palette here to let the historic home really read and let this be a backdrop while complementing the historic home. So like all this cabinetry is the dark wood, mimics the dark wood of the historic throughout the house. And even the knobs are just very simple. Just everything goes away into the background and lets the historic home really sing. We added these French doors out the front of the house, really, so that now the house can flow to its pool, which is out the front. Because this is, as we've discussed, a double-fronted house, you have the bay side and you have the street side and the pools out the front of the house. So now the kitchen's in the heart of the house.
The fisherman's cottage is still intact here?
It is still intact here, and we're continuing to reuse it as a guest house. What was original to Point Loma, the Portuguese fishing community, they moved this Portuguese fisherman's cottage onto the property, and they were acknowledging what was part of this community from the beginning, before this onslaught of the civic leaders from downtown moving out here. That's a weather vane, and I don't know why, but for some reason, Richard Requa is known for his weather vanes, and this one's a lovely masted ship at full sail, perched on top of the garage, and a beautiful little piece that's seen from the street.
Yeah, I think it's probably apropos being so close to the bay.
Yeah, totally. Richard Requa is known for these amazing sculptural fireplaces, very simply done out of plaster and terracotta. We have these fabulous built-in banquette seating areas next to a wonderful wide open fireplace.
How does that make you feel as a homeowner to have lived in such a place that was filled with so much history?
Oh, it's incredible. And it's funny, even when we travel outside of San Diego, when we talk about our house and people find out about it, I'm surprised at how many people have heard of our home or know about it or have seen it in the landscape or scenic photos of San Diego and know exactly where we are.
What are you going to miss the most?
The location, definitely. The house has just given me a sense of comfort and peace. Just being here, it's almost like my own little oasis, and I know my family feels the same way. You know, we're selling simply because it's that time in our lives. Both our kids are going to college, and we just want to do some traveling and some new adventures. But I mean, this is a place of true peace for me, and a real haven.